Hello, everybody. We'll wait a minute here and get some more people on. Today, let's talk about mindset. It's very important. Make sure my music's not too loud. All right. So please say hello and where you're from, and we'll start talking about mindset, and then I'll answer any questions you have. So along the way, just post any questions you have, and I'll come back around and answer those as best as I can. So there's the mindset is extremely important. I get emails all the time from people saying they don't know where to start. They have fears. There's a lot of obstacles which we'll go over, and then the answers. Hello, and but the main thing is the mindset that people have to have when they're basically switching from being an entrepreneur to an employee, and that is a completely different mindset. It's really mind blowing how different those two worlds are, and I kind of liken it to how if you're ever going somewhere in a car with somebody, and it's the first time you've been there. If you're in the passenger seat versus if you're in the driver's seat, and then after you get there or the next day, try to remember how you got there. The entrepreneur is the driver, and then the employee is the passenger. And if you're like me, if I'm a passenger in the car, parts of my brain just shuts off. I don't really care how we got there. I know that we got there. I couldn't tell you how we got there. I couldn't even tell you probably what's north and south unless I'm at the coast. So that's kind of how I think of what an employee versus entrepreneur is. The driver, however, when I drive somewhere, I can remember which way is north and south, and how I got there. I can remember it the next day, that kind of thing. And good morning, everybody. And that's much like the mindset of an entrepreneur versus employee. Parts of the brain where the brain is so efficient. It wants to it'll take a nap when you allow it to. Even if you're awake, it'll shut parts of the brain off that it doesn't need that right then. It's in a mode where it just doesn't need to know this information. So it will kick back and enjoy the scenery or the discussion along the way, and shut parts of the brain off that just doesn't need to know that you took a right, then a left, that kind of thing. So to me, that's very much how the brain works when you're an entrepreneur. You see things so differently, and it's just because of how parts of the brain that are turned on and turned off, and so you have to sort of give into the idea that your brain is going to switch. It's going to take care of the fact that you're in the driver's seat. You don't have to, before the whole process begins, you don't have to worry about, is my brain going to step up to the game? It just naturally does. It changes something in your brain, turns something on that helps you step up your game. So just by putting yourself into the situation of owning your own business and starting your own business, your parts of your brain are going to turn on, and you're going to start seeing things very differently all around you. Things that you've seen forever, but really haven't seen. So life will become very different. Now, it's really common. I get a lot of emails and people talking about it all the time. The obstacles that they have before they begin anything, and when they begin their bookkeeping business, and those obstacles are the common ones, which is lack of experience, fear of failing, fear of looking like an imposter, fear, looking stupid, and also just kind of not knowing where to begin, how to proceed down the road of being an entrepreneur and starting your own bookkeeping business. Uh, but the thing is, the answer to those things are actually right. They're they're easy to obtain. There's programs. We have a program, Bookkeeping Life. There's other programs out there that can give you the education and the tools that you need to make it happen. There's mentors. There's like Bookkeeping Life is a mentor as a community. I can be a mentor. Other people can be your mentor. And uh, I think the thing to keep in mind is, so we're talking about the mindset. It's so important just to uh, really understand that your brain will adapt to the situation. So if you take the steps, if you put the fear aside, the fear of lack of knowledge, and start down the path, your brain will get in the mindset of itself. You can't just say, before you start the process, you can't just say, okay, I'll know everything and before I begin, and you just cannot be concerned about whether or not the brain will step up or not. There's so many people that are bookkeepers. Why can't you do it? You can do it. It's just a matter of those people ignored those fears and obstacles before they started, and then they got into it, and the brain will step up. And if you bring the desire to do it to the plate, then the brain will take over and accomplish the goals that and the steps that are needed to along the way in order to become a good bookkeeping business owner and successful one. So you've got your obstacles, the fears, and how the questions of how to move forward, and then the answers are, you can join a program, you can really follow somebody that's been successful at it. You're not alone in the process. There's especially with our program, we have people all along the way, very successful people and people that just started, people that have been doing it for a long time, and that are here to help. So that you've got your obstacles and you've got your answers. That's that's the life of an entrepreneur right there too. Is you're always going to have things that come up, and then you just have to figure out a way to get around them. So the first things as an entrepreneur, if you're just starting out, are these obstacles. You've got these things that are popping up, these fears and lack of knowledge and education and stuff like that, and you just have to figure out how to attack them. I tell my son all the time, like, are you giving me a problem right now? Because if you're giving me a problem, I'm going to fix it. So I kind of, and he's adapting that same mentality, is that, uh, you know, is this a problem? If it's a problem, then it's time to fix it. So he's learning to be choosy about whether or not he's giving me a problem or not. But the another thing to do is, and not to get religious, but more spiritual, is that, and also it ties into kind of these times that we're living in right now, is that we just have one go around, and it can go quick. It does go quick too. Anyways, even if you live to an old age, time flies by so fast that you don't want to sit back 2 years from now and say, oh, and maybe you start it 2 years from now and say, oh, I wish I started 2 years earlier. And then you don't want to, 10 years down the road, and which is a long time when it comes to having a bookkeeping business. You don't want to be 10 years down the road and say, oh, I wish I would have tried that at that one time, because the barrier for entry is easy. It doesn't cost a lot of money to join a program. I've specifically made mine as low as possible so that people can get in. And you don't have to, so it's not a lot of financial investment. And then the time actually to get rolling and get your first client doesn't take long. So it's not one of these these professions where you have to spend years before you even kind of start. This is something that you're really kind of starting at the same time as you're starting. so your business really starts rolling the pretty much the same week that that you start down the path, which is really cool. But back to the spiritual thing and how the sign of the times plays into this is that bookkeeping business, being able to work from home, being able to work from anywhere, as long as you have an internet and a laptop, is so powerful. You don't have to, and also being an entrepreneur instead of an employee, you're not going to get laid off. You may lose a client, but you're going to gain another client. That's how the bookkeeping business works. Is we as humans shift. If we have problems, we find solutions, and some industries are going to be hit more harder than others during crises like these, and some industries will fail, but what will also happen is the inventor in the human will create different businesses that do really well in situations like this, and the future and how the future is going to look. So, and bookkeeping is going to be there the whole time because bookkeeping needs to be done for all businesses. So it's really important to keep that in mind, that this is an excellent industry to be in, pretty much in all times, and businesses will different industries will come and go, but the bookkeeping still needs to be done for all of them. So that's the plus when it comes to having a bookkeeping business. But we do only have this one go around, and it can go quick. And so it's important to make wise choices. You don't want to be too risky, and that's the beauty of this type of business, this industry, is you can go down this path without draining your bank and spend tons of money. So my YouTube guy's telling me to ask for likes and shares if you like this video and stuff. He gets mad at me when I don't. So if you like this, please like it. If you want to share it or hit the bell, whatever. I appreciate it. All right, and it keeps me out of trouble. So that's kind of the gist of the mindset, is that you have to, one, turn off the part of your brain that is fearful of going down the road, because the brain will take care of itself. You don't have to worry about that. Oh, and subscribe, he says. Subscribe, if I didn't say it. So, understand that your brain is extremely powerful, and sometimes we'll just put it into a lane, in that passenger seat lane, and just let it ride and just go down the road. We're comfortable there. We don't have to overthink things. But there's also, risks involved in sitting in that passenger seat, is that you don't have control of the car. And some people can just turn off their brain in the passenger seat and enjoy their life. And then there's people like me who don't really enjoy being driven around through life without being able to make my own choices. And times like these are an indicator of how important it is to be able to have a profession and your own job that you can sustain kind of any type of hit that the world takes. All right, so that all being said, I hope hope that made sense to you. If not, ask me a question, and I'll start from the top. And I want to say hello to everybody again. Thanks for tuning in. It's a beautiful sunny morning here. Hope it is there. So Rakesh says, I am in high school and I don't know anything about bookkeeping, but I want to do bookkeeping. What can I do first? Which first course I do? So if you're thinking about so you're in high school, if you're thinking about taking courses in high school or college, definitely you could take some accounting courses since you have to take courses anyways. My answer to somebody that's not in school would be to take my program, or because we give you the education that you need to learn QuickBooks, and you're learning bookkeeping, and give you all the tools to have your own bookkeeping business. So that's an option too. And also if you're in school and you have those opportunities to take courses that are in bookkeeping or accounting, math. Those are good things to take. I'll give you a link to my courses here in a bit. Um, so so we've got people from all over: India, UK. Hi, Billy from Alabama. Good to have you here. Hello, Grass Valley, California. I don't know where that is, but hi, Catherine. Arizona, I know that. Louisiana, retired Army. Awesome. I was in the Marines. English teacher. I barely speak English. Nice to have you, Ray. Philippines. Wow, we're everywhere today. Good morning. So Carrie asked what my program involves. So there's really kind of any program. I have several different options, but the main thing is there's a 25 video course of me uh, talking about how to start and grow your bookkeeping business. And then we have also options if you don't know QuickBooks to there's a QuickBooks online course that you can add on. And there's also logo business card design, which is excellent, and website design. So it contains all the tools that you need. Some people don't need all that. They already know QuickBooks maybe, but they don't have a brand and um, website. So, but in general, the course involves all the branding and advertising knowledge and tools that you need to get your bookkeeping business up and running. And it all happens very fast if you work at it. It can all happen within a week, believe it or not. And then you're already advertising yourself by the end of that week, and we've had people get clients within a week, believe it or not. Wow, Stephen from Zimbabwe, South Africa as well. It's great. I want to do bookkeeping in my country. Help me on starting and doing bookkeeping. Yep. So let me give you the link. Finishing my smoothie for this morning. So here's the link to my programs. You can check them out. Since all of you, or some of you, are asking. Okay, so here's the programs link. You can check those out, compare them. Like I said, they all contain how to start and grow your business, and then if you need a logo, which you do, and a website, you do. Those are optional add-ons, and also QuickBooks Online training. But that's where I recommend you start, is a program, because everything's given to you, everything you need. That way you don't have to dig around, try to find something from somewhere else. It's all one-stop shop. Hi Naz, good to see you from Jersey. Hope your state's recovering. Peter says we have a great opportunity to start with small. Where'd it go? With small businesses that are slowly reopening after the virus. That's correct. And also another thing is a lot of businesses are going to rethink their employee situation. It's a good opportunity to talk to people about, talk to businesses about whether they need a full-time bookkeeper, or they just need to outsource their bookkeeping to someone like you. That will cost the company a lot less money. Companies are going, pretty much across the board, companies are going to be watching their money. So, and whoever's doing their bookkeeping, that's a factor that they're going to weigh in if they're smart. Tracy, what are your recommendations for protecting your clients' information? Well, there's a lot of secure ways. You should have your system, wherever you're at, should be secure, for one. I don't claim to be an expert on internet security, But just if you're sharing information, believe it or not, most of my clients just email me their stuff. And if they're okay with emails, then I'm okay with emails. I rarely have people that are not that you can password protect stuff to very easily. So within Adobe, so I recommend that. Anything that has socials on it and stuff like that, just put a password on it. And good passwords on the QuickBooks and stuff. From Pakistan, from Hawaii, hello, aloha. All right, let's see. Thanks for answering. My second question is, if I do bachelor in accounting and in my first year, can I able to book? You can do bookkeeping without college. You can do bookkeeping without high school. I mean, you need to be. I have other videos on character traits that you need to have, and experience level that you need to gain to do bookkeeping. But you don't have to have a bachelor's degree in accounting to do bookkeeping. A lot of your best bookkeepers out there they don't have college. They have just high school education and a lot of get up and go. Carrie, hi. I just got my first client. I'm in school and work as an accounting clerk. I have been trying to make sure I'm on the correct path. Any advice to start working with client this week? Yep. Well, you got your client already. It sounds like so. By now you should already know if you've got your client already. You're not in the process of trying to get the client. But if you've got your client, then you should already know what the starting point is, what the scope of the job is, and what you need to do. Any advice on start working with client this week? So hopefully you know QuickBooks, but like I said, if you already got the client, then you should know what the scope is and where you're going with that. But you can email me, steve@bookkeepinglife.com, and we can carry on that conversation. Hello from New York. What would you say is the most, so this is from Billy, what would you say is the most challenging for an experienced brick and mortar accountant that got out of private accounting 10 years ago and getting back in the business as a 100% virtual accountant? Well, probably just that mindset of switching over from being an employee in a brick and mortar to you're going from the passenger seat to the driver's seat. So just and I know you, Billy, that you're in my program, so you're good to go there. Just if you don't know QuickBooks Online, make sure you're taking that part of the course, and it's the whole. I have different videos on it, but about how to establish when you're talking to potential clients, what you need to know, how to talk to them. All of that good stuff is what you're going to see. When you're an employee, your work is handed to you, but when you're an entrepreneur, you have to find the work. So it's a very different mindset, and it's a different skill set that you need to develop on figuring out what their problem is and how to fix it. So it just involves a few steps, but I have other videos, and we definitely talk about that in the program as well. Establishing finding out what exactly their situation is, and the scope of it, the starting point of it, and then getting the right information from them in order to start the project. All right. Hello from Florida. Just trying to start bookkeeping. I found it very difficult to keep follow up clients with information needed like copy receipts or statements. I don't do receipts, so I don't ever look at receipts from clients. Everything should be hitting their bank statements and their credit card statements, and that's what you need. Billy's asking what the best marketing strategies for nationwide niche marketing. It's all in the branding, and well, it starts with the branding. So the brand should look and feel nationwide, and with the niche that you're going to be marketing. So you got to take a step back to the branding first, because if you're trying to market a brand that doesn't look and feel national, then that won't work. Um, so start with the branding, and then the marketing pretty much stays the same. All the different options for marketing, you just have to drop it into each of those areas that you want to target, like all the major cities and stuff like that. Peter Francis is asking, are there any niches you recommend for new bookkeepers? More importantly, any industries you would advise we avoid starting out? Okay. Yeah, I do talk about this. I personally don't recommend niches for new bookkeepers because you don't know what you may like. You may be missing out on something that you really, really like. You may feel like you know something and you're comfortable with it, and you just want to run with that. But the problem is that there's a ton of different businesses and niches out there that you haven't seen yet. So you may really, really, really like them. And it's also to be well rounded, because what if that niche dies out because of a situation like what's going on now, or uh, AI, or technology advances. So niches are good in ways, and they're also risky in ways. And then, like I said, they also keep you from understanding every other industry that's out there. So I don't recommend niches in the beginning. And if you do want a niche, I recommend you kind of double, have two things going on. You have your niche. You can do niche marketing and go after a niche, but you should also go after things outside of that niche, so that you can be more well-rounded. And like I said, you may run into something that you enjoy so much more. And it's really nice to be able to be a well-rounded bookkeeper, to know, like when you're driving down the road and you see all these different kinds of businesses, you'll have experience in all these different types of industries. Like when I drive down the road, I see all the different kind of businesses, and I really understand how all of them operate. I can kind of tell you which ones are going to make it or not. Location is important for these businesses, and I can see, okay, I kind of know how they all operate, and whether or not the brand looks good, and if they've got it going on or not, if they're in a good location. Kind of understand all that stuff just driving down the road and looking at them. So that's a good skill to have. Riri from UK. Hello. I've been an employee my entire life. At the same time, I always wanted to have my own business my entire life. Now I will take that step and finally start my bookkeeping. Very good, Rosselli. That's awesome. It's a beautiful path to be on. It's rewarding all the way. That's the thing too, is having your own businesses. There's rewards all along the way, and because as you get a new client, it's exciting, and you learn so much all the time. You learn so much about yourself. It really expands your understanding of yourself and the life you're living. So, and all these rewards along the way. If you're an employee, you might get rewarded at the end of the year as a little bonus, and that's an expected thing too. It's not as a business owner, you get these unexpected rewards all the time, and just knowledge, gaining knowledge and learning different things. It's so rewarding. Sophie is asking, do you have to drive or leave the house to do bookkeeping? Nope. Maybe. I mean, it's up to you if you want to take on-site bookkeeping where you go to their location, but you don't have to, and I don't. I used to, but I don't anymore. Hello from Austin, Texas. Munkin Learning. Can logo and website services from your program be purchased separately? Yes. Yes. Let me send you a link. Let me make sure. I think they're all still on 50% off too, which is nice. Yep. Okay. So this link right here is for a la carte logos and websites. All right. For experienced accountant who wants to do online bookkeeping, what is the best resource? Resource for what? Rosalie, do you have any recommendations on books maybe about mindset? Any author out there that you like? I don't have a recommendation for that. Sorry. I'm sure there's plenty out there though. But the best recommendation for mindset is to just do it. Write your own book. The time you're spending reading a book, maybe just rewatch this video and get busy. No, books are good. Riri is asking, do you normally do monthly or quarterly reviews, catch-ups with your clients? Is that something they request? So yeah, sometimes. Most don't, actually. Most of my clients don't really care too much about their books. They just know that they're being done. They know that they're ready come tax season so that they can get their taxes done. But they're kind of in it, in their business. They kind of have a sense of how their business is doing and if they have enough money to pay their bills. Most of them don't really use it as well as they should, that information. So Naz is asking, how do you understand the business transactions on the client's bank and credit card statements? Do you go over with the client one by one? No, so when you pick up a new client, there's a learning curve to that client and their spending habits, and that's something that happens with every new client. But you over time. So in the beginning, I always tell a new client, in the beginning, I'm going to have more questions for you per month than I will as time goes on, because I won't be asking you the same question about the same vendors. You learn their habits and their transactions and their vendors, so that that first month, second month, you're going to have more questions, but they taper off. And I just, as I'm going through their books for the month, let's say I just got a new client and I'm doing their books for the first time, for the first month, and I will keep all my questions into one spreadsheet, and then when I get done, that allows me to put everything into the system, reconcile, and then I can send them the questions. They can respond with all the answers at once. They can sit down and answer all the questions in one sitting, send it all back, and then I recode, change the coding on those transactions from my suspense account that I use. But that makes it easy on the client, so that you're not shooting them emails all the time. What about this? What about this? What about this? It's just one email. What about these? And please give me a 2-3 word explanation of what these are, and send it back. I send them an Excel spreadsheet. When reconciling, do you only reconcile bank and credit card statements? Yeah. Service industry trend to be simpler is my understanding. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So part of a previous question is what industry types. Yeah. Service-based industries are the easiest to do when you're starting out because they're not complicated with inventory and all that other jazz. So just a service-based company. And by service-based means that business performs a service. They don't sell tangible items. So this is a very common question I get. How many clients do you think would be ideal for someone looking for full-time virtual bookkeeping work? It's impossible to answer that because all clients are different. They're different sizes, which means you can charge a different amount for them based upon their size, and your level of what is enough to live off of and be happy is different than what other people. Some people are just looking for supplemental income. Some people are looking to that's their only income. That you're talking about being a full-time virtual bookkeeper. But it could be 5, it could be 50. It depends on the size of those clients and your cost of living, all that other stuff. So Nita, I hope I'm saying that right. If a client doesn't have QuickBooks and uses Excel spreadsheets, is that a deal breaker for a bookkeeper? Nope. But you do want to get them over to QuickBooks. You wouldn't want to continue to use an Excel spreadsheet. It's actually pretty common that a business owner, when they start off, they're using something besides QuickBooks, like a spreadsheet. But you want to take that information, put it into QuickBooks, and carry on with QuickBooks. Yvonne's asking what tax software do I recommend. I don't really recommend one per se. I use ProSeries, but the ProSeries and Lacert are professional tax software. They're actually made by the same company, Intuit, which makes QuickBooks as well. They have a monopoly, obviously. But Lacert and ProSeries are your professional softwares, tax prep softwares. So Anita, again, I hope I'm saying that right. How do you deal with clients that use their credit cards for personal use? The business transactions that are on their personal cards need to get into the system. So there's a couple different ways to do that. You can put. It depends on the percentage of use that it's business. So if they're using their personal card and it's all business, you would want to have that card into the system so that you can reconcile it and capture everything. If it's, say, 10% business, 90% personal, I would tell them to identify what charges on that credit card as business so that you can enter them manually, and you would not track that card in the system. So it depends. But you still need to get them in the system, though. Rakesh is asking, what is most valuable chartered accountant or CPA? Because in India, the more value of a chartered accountant. But I want to come and live there so much. So which is better? I don't know the value of a chartered accountant, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. I can tell you that CPAs are held to high standards here, and the road to become a CPA is not easy. So, but that may be that exact case of a chartered accountant. So I'm sorry, I can't tell you the answer to that, or I don't really have a good answer. Ryan from North Carolina, hello. Uh, Follow up on your program. Is it videos only or is it interactive? I.e., is there an opportunity to ask questions? So it's videos. The actual program itself is videos, and but I make myself available via email. We have a Facebook group, a private Facebook group that you become a member of as well. That's a really good community to ask questions and get answers. And we have in the community, in the private Facebook group, we have it's an awesome community of everybody from people just starting out to very advanced people with successful bookkeeping businesses. And so everybody helps everybody out. And then I do these live sessions all the time. I haven't done one in 2 weeks because I was getting my floor installed. That was my excuse last week. But I do like to do these at least once a week. Good day from Australia. What goals are you aiming for? I guess you as in me to achieve in 2020. Well, my main goal is to make bookkeeping life better and better and better. That's my current major goal. And I also have this business, Jiu-Jitsu Nutrition, that I am working on as well. So I have these two awesome projects that I love working on, and just keep going down the road on those. Thank you for asking. Do you think outsourced virtual assistants for help would be okay, and would I need to tell clients about it? So I think what you're asking is if you had a business and you were outsourcing your work. Yeah, I think it's important to tell. Well, I think clients like to know that it's you or someone working with you is looking at their information and handling their books. So I think it's important to be transparent in that. If you're going to outsource it, I think you should just ethically disclose that information. What do you do when a customer has the bank statement showing sales but no records of the breakdown of sales tax returns adjustments? So I don't want to get into too deep of bookkeeping questions, but get that information as if you can. If you can't, then you have to record it as just net sales. It depends on the difficulty of getting that information, the quality of that information. But ideally, you want to have gross sales and less returns, adjustments, that kind of stuff. And but it's not 100% necessary if it's too much work to get it, or it's not reliable. All right. Any other questions, everybody? Great session today. So Rivera is asking, do you provide a portal to share files, reports? I just use Dropbox typically. But there are other ones out there. There are other ones that claim to be more secure. So you can kind of just Google that. File sharing. You'll see Dropbox and you'll see others. So Rakesh is asking how many months it takes to become a bookkeeper. You can become a beginner bookkeeper in a week. Everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts being a bookkeeper on day one. When they decide to become a bookkeeper, that's when they become a bookkeeper. The question is how long does it take to get a client, and to have your business solid, and how to gain experience and all of that. And that's what Bookkeeping Life's all about. Have I found my role as a bookkeeper changed during COVID-19? Not yet. I haven't seen any change yet. I suspect I will to some degree. I suspect there will be businesses that don't make it, but then there will also be businesses that are created because of it. Dropbox, I pay for mine. I keep my Dropbox very simple. It's not. I don't think I even pay for Dropbox. I'm always with under the free limit because I don't keep a ton of information in there that that is like heavy files. I don't keep PDFs and stuff are very small file sizes um, and I get rid of old stuff. So Yvonne, I have a client that runs a production business, and they put on jiu-jitsu tournaments twice a year here in Hawaii. That's awesome. You should email me who that is. I might know who they are. Kakoa, maybe. Nice. What's the best investment you made for your business? That's a really good question. So Amar is asking, what is the best investment you made for your business? Well. Maybe a large screen, computer screen. I'll turn this around real quick and show you, in case you haven't seen my other. I have a Big Mac. I have another Big Mac, but I like being able to see things clearly. So a big robust computer, small. That's all I can think of right now. Besides just personal investment in taking care of myself and staying at it all the time. Ryan is a CPA, works in industry internal audit. Would bookkeeping be a good starting point to build a virtual CPA firm? Would like to do it full time eventually. I'm middle aged. Is it too late? No, it's not too late. You can do this type of business, and this is an awesome business to do until you get dementia. Once you start messing up some numbers, then it's time to hang it up. But that can be in your 80s or 90s, who knows, right? So I think it's an excellent road to go down, my CPA friend. So Rakesh, is there any certificate need to find a first client? No, you don't need certificates. Some people feel better with certificates. I don't think they're necessary. DJ, I got my first client, need help. Puzzle word start. Email me, steve@bookkeepinglife.com. We'll talk about it. Nas is saying middle age is better. Clients will trust you more. There is probably some truth to that. If you're very young, although the reality is I've probably only met 10% of my clients, maybe even less. So unless you sound young, people don't really know how old you are. So DJ is saying customers behind 6 months. Where should I start? 6 months ago. That's where that would be your starting point, most likely. You start back there and work your way forward. Do I have more local business than virtual clients, or which one you find easy to find? I've always marketed, not always, but I basically market local, so Southern California. So that's the majority of my clients, but they're all virtual because I don't see them. And like I just said, most likely haven't met them. So that's whether they could be two doors down, and if I've never met them and we've only worked virtually, they're a virtual client. But I do have clients that they actually have a location locally that I'm aware of where that is. So they're both a local business and a virtual client. DJ, can we communicate via Zoom? So I don't really get into. I'd spend my whole day doing, you know, consulting how to handle a client and stuff like that, and I would have to charge you for that. But the best thing to do is just email me if you have a question, and then we'll take it from there. Have you got a good ROI on paid advertising? I don't do paid advertising, so I don't recommend it really. My program talks about ways to advertise and market your business that don't cost money, and that's what I recommend. But other people do it, and it's okay to do it, but you have to do it right. When you talk about spending money on Google, AdWords, and Facebook ads, there is a financial learning curve to that, because you have to try a lot of different things and see what works, and then fine tune it over time, and all that costs money. So it's possible to be good at that, but there is a learning curve to it, and that learning curve costs money. You will not just drop Facebook ads out the gate and start making a profit on those. You'll pay money in the beginning. Right on, Ryan. Take care. Any other questions before we hang it up for today? Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We'll do another one next week. And you can always come back to this, so it'll be on YouTube. It'll stay on YouTube. Rakesh, my course, that's how you learn it. So I'll post my course again. Amar, what does a typical day look like for you? Every day's different. Yesterday I went surfing, so they opened up the beaches here, so I had a great spiritual day in the ocean yesterday. And then I came home and I did some emails, did a little bit of work, then I watched some Netflix. And today I woke up and I'm doing this. But a typical, like, if it involves work, I kind of just jump in and jump out. So I might sit down for an hour or two, work, and then I go do something else I enjoy. And then I come back later. I try not to work too hard. I've learned over the years to work smarter and not harder. But yeah, but a typical bookkeeper working from home workday should look like, because it's all about freedoms, right? If you have children, you want to be able to spend time with your children. I have an 8-year-old son, and when I'm with him, I'm with him, and when I'm not with him, I get some work done. Yeah, Naz, Netflix and bookkeeping. I have a TV right there, and I always have something on. All right, guys, let's wrap it up for today. I appreciate all the great questions and everybody showing up. And like I said, you can email me, steve@bookkeepinglife.com, and I'll answer any questions you have there. And we'll do this again in like a week. All right. All right. I hope everybody has a great day. Take care.